let's get ourselves underway then here. Racing at Vialunga, and Cooty's got a good start there from the front of the grid there with just Steve Smuts behind. There is the likes of Cathadia trying to make progress here as they go through turn 2 and 3 for the very first time, all flat out as they try and work a way forward and gain those places. There is Cathadia. They start crossing the beams a little bit as they jam on the brakes into the next corner, and I think it's just about fine. Someone's running wide in the background. Ravindra's already up to 4th. That's Richard Banerjee dropping back, and that's in a little bit of trouble. Is that there running into this Ravindra? It's the needle, tries to jump his way up in second position, and he's in the snow trying to keep himself going. Mars positions, Lalage back up to get through on the inside. No, he's still fighting on the inside. 3 wide. They're going through to Campagnano.
This was very, very interesting as well, with Amit Puri just running away from the scene as well. Arun Ravindra got into a little bit of tangle. Rishabh Banerjee got into drag. So one of the cars just moving off the track for a little bit. We've been talking about not taking on the track limit because it's very, very severe. As we see, Ushan Kotadia takes advantage and moves out to position number 2. Let's remind ourselves, he started at number 3 and now he's up to number 2. Navneet Kumar will be struggling there for the fight with Munjal as well. Amit Puri with the race leader already at least about 2 or 3 car lengths lead already. Rishabh Banerjee up to number 3 now.
Yes, and a lot of drivers have struggled. Smuts is already down to 6th. The driver that we just saw off for a second time was Aaron Ravindra. He's had a very entertaining qualifying session. Now that means that it's full advantage. Amit Cooty could put maybe 50 points down on the board. Here is Smuts down the inside then of Lalage back and moves up into 5th place. And his recovery drive starts now with 28 minutes left to go on the clock and a little bit of chump change. And on top of that, a very, very aggressive start. Aditya Pawar just had a very quiet and silent start today. He's already up into 4th position. He's looking at those top 3, thinking these are huge points for me in that fight for 5th place in the championship. So we see some drivers trying to work their way down through. I think that was Munjal Sabla trying to find a way through. He couldn't quite find it.
Rishabh Banerjee moves up to position number 3. I was talking initially about Arun Ravindra. I had a feeling that he possibly went on the brakes a little bit, but there could be some technical difficulty there with Arun Ravindra. Lalit now trying to consolidate on number 6. Just to tell you, Lalit started at 6, stays at number 6. So he's not going anywhere. He's stuck there for a bit now. As Munjal Sabla will love to take the battle ahead of him. But now as we're looking at, Amit Puri has a clear track ahead of him. Jake, you talked about Steve Smuts. So he's been in this position before, losing out on the start. Now it's the time to fight back.
Well, this was all about drivers being aggressive off the line, and Smuts had really not much to go with as he made a small mistake of his own, had contact with Ravindra who went off, and it all sort of came along and became a chain reaction from there. But there is Rishabh Banerjee in 3rd position, and how much would he like a podium at this stage? Smuts there in the background looked like he was under pressure for a moment there from Lalage back, but that doesn't work. Slightly wide goes Cathadia as well, trying to get himself through turn 14, the S section before the final corner of Roma sets up a brand new lap in this race. This is a very, very difficult track, and we're seeing this from these drivers. They are just now starting to settle down into their groove, into their rhythm, and now they need to think about where they're battling and who they are battling. Ravindra already on the recovery drive right now here. He's back into 15th place.
Amit Puri sets in the fastest lap. That's the obvious clear track, takes advantage. Lalit will still try to take the battle to Steve Smuts. Tej Patel quietly moves into position number 8. He started at 8 again. So Lalit and Tej Patel are right now in the respective position where they started. Now Munjal Sabla started on 9. He's dropped down 5 places into number 13. Arun Ravindra is now classified at number 15. Can he move into the top 12 because he's got to limit the damage to take those points?
Certainly needs to here. There is Munjal Sabla, position 13, and he's trying to hold back a train here. Contact, and that's with Ryden Samaravel there, who will drop down 2 positions. It's very easily done at turn 7. Up on 2 wheels they went, and now he'll lose another one as well, down into 17th, but he's late on the brakes. is able to maintain that 16th position. So easily done. Ravindra picks up an extra place there. Siddharth Sathian now finds himself inside the top 15. But now Ravindra trying to get up into 13th place here against Munjal Savla here, and maybe force away down the inside. This very, very tricky hairpin down the bottom. There's contact. Oh, there's two over there at the hairpin there. And one of them, I believe, is going to be Raghav, who again runs into trouble then down at the hairpin.
So then, Arun Ravindra says thank you very much in just 2 laps. He's already up 3 positions. So, in fact, in 2 corners, he's up 2 positions. Amit Puri's fastest lap, 1:39.226. Let's remind ourselves the fastest lap time was 1 minute 38.7 in qualifying. So we do believe better lap times are going to come in any moment.
Absolutely, those times start to get going. Now Ravindra side by side here to Curva Grande, turn number 2, and he wisely backs out of it then compared to Munjal Savla, who was not having no for an answer. He was going to go through, and you wonder maybe with the damage Ravindra maybe has, and he's not got everything in a straight line, and if he doesn't, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here today, trying to make overtakes in the first couple of sectors. There is Garvit Loader in 10th position right now. He's trying to get to Raj Tula here in 9th. On the brakes, they will go into turn 7 here, the Campagnano corner, and that's slightly wide of a line. Contact on the exit. That will open the door for Garvit Loader, but he can't get the drive that he needs, and it's just about held for the moment as we go on board into turn number 8. Missed apex. There's a lunge down the inside, and it looks like for the time being wide there with contact was the overtake made. Garvit Loader has to give that one back then here in 10th position, and he'll have to try another way, a clean way to get around.
There was quite a bit of contact. In fact, there was 3 consecutive contacts there. Now Garvit Loader just got to possibly just relax a little bit and let the car get out of it, because the guys at the end of the race, you don't want a penalty to go back down. Good that he sensibly handed over the place back again. Now Swaraj Yadav, not exactly kind of outing that he'll be looking at, but then he's enjoying the contest there. Now in position number 11, started at 11, stays at 11.
Yep, he's doing well at the moment. You always want to gain on the place that you start in a race, so that's going to be key. Ravindra there is just behind in 12th. He just made the pass on Munjal Savla through the S's section, that Sochi-style S's section that you see out there on track. And this race at the moment is looking like it's going one direction at this moment in time for the championship leader. Ravindra still under pressure here from Savla down at the Shmini corner. No surprises there that he's struggling a little bit in a straight line. He gathers it back though through the corners, and by pure skill is the way that he gets through. Your top 5, Kuti, Kavadia, Manaji, Pawar and Smuts is the way it stands at this first race here of racing at Via Lunga. There'll be a 12-car reverse grid race following after this one, ladies and gentlemen, so don't think that this is the only event that we have on the calendar. Here comes Tej Patel, a little bit too brave down the inside, trying to get through Navneet Kumar. He has to stay behind for the moment. We did, though, get an opportunity to have a chat with Oshan Kapadia earlier on. Here's what he had to say. He's currently in second.
And yeah, I started sim racing officially, I would say, in March 2020. Yeah, I had decided that I wanted a sim rig as such, but yeah, it was just that the first thing was, okay, let's finish masters, then let's get a sim rig. And then I was like, okay, let's find a job, then let's get a sim rig. And then it transitioned even further that, okay, now I have a job and now I'm going to get married. So once I have an apartment, let's get a sim rig. So it just kept on going ahead. And luckily I decided, okay, nothing doing. 2019 December, I said Christmas gift has to be the sim.
Well, Kapadia hasn't necessarily fallen away as much as maybe people expected here against Amit Kuti Solomon. The big key in terms of this battle is that Kuti is being matched pace for pace at the moment. Aditya Pawar trying to chase down into 3rd position, but has to be worried about who's behind in 5th place. Steve Smuts definitely wants to try and find a way through, unless there is some damage and he is struggling to get anywhere near.
Now, I was trying to see if Steve Smart is having a little bit of a braking problem, because you do see him getting aggressive, but then I just thought he was not going as late on brakes as he would want. but Aditya Pawar is doing a very good job of defending so far. So give him about another 5. And Steve Smudge just showing that intent. Hey, I'm just there. You need to give. If you're going to give me that space, I'm going to take that. Aditya Pawar stays at number 4, but Rishabh Banerjee now trying to isolate himself at number 3.
Trying to get away, but he's got himself about a second to play with at the moment. Does run wide though through the chicane. That will allow Aditya Pawar a chance to get back. Now Swaraj Yadav under pressure from Ravindra. Look at this train starting to form up. You've got Raj Tula holding back the tides, it seems, at this moment. This is a very, very aggressive battle that we see at this stage, and they're all going to be swarming towards turn 4 and the Shamini corners here with a lot of intent. How good is Garvin's run? The answer is it's pretty decent. He may have a chance.
He does, because he started at number 13, now he's fighting at number 10. Now, the problem is he's got one of the championship leaders, that's Aro Ravindra, stuck at number 12. So he's in the point. Love this view of the top angle. It really gives you the kind of how close the action can be. So here they come onto the right-hander. How close he tries to break a little bit, look for that little space. Garvit Lorak just about closes that door on him. Swaraj Yadav now sees behind him Aro Ravindra versus moves into position number 11 as Swaraj Yadav falls down to position number 12. Aro Ravindra, is he going to come down in strong as well? Yes, he does. As he moves up to position number 10. 2 overtaking maneuvers and two corners. Well done.
3. Make it 3, because that's wide from Raj Tula, and through goes Ravindra again, but Tula's not giving this one up here, jamming on the brakes for turn 8. They'll go later on the brakes then is Raj Tula, but has he gone too deep? He has just slightly overcooked it, but he's got enough drive on the exit to hold it for turn 9. Brilliant battling at the moment. Ravindra using the in-system curves to get himself ahead then into what is 10th place, but he's now having to defend suddenly. Schrodinger's overtaken full flow. Garvit Loader trying to attack on the outside here of turn 12. This very tough hairpin, and well, Aro Ravindra does just enough to hold off, and now he's got to try and get past Tula next.
This was very good. The train really brought in the real racing down here again. Aro Ravindra really was waiting like a sniper there, trying to look for an opportunity, and he got that opportunity, took it. Well done, Aro, but can he move up? He's got to at least move into the top 7 to limit the damage on the championship.
He certainly does. He's in 10th at the moment, and he'll try to chase. We'll step aside for one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Back with more of the VW VRC Round 8 after this.
Power is, you only understand it when you feel it, you know?
Volkswagen.
Swaraj Yadav now has gone very, very deep into the Shamini corner, and he will be put to the back of the train in 13th position. After that run behind Munjal Savla, Raj Tula and Garvit Loader, Aro Ravindra now up into 9th place on the road, and his recovery continues here at the snowscape that is Vyalunga. Here is Aditya Pawar under pressure. This is Steve Smuts wanting to try and get in, and if there was ever a time that Steve Smuts needed to find some confidence and find those overtakes, it has to be now. It looks like he's dealing with a little bit of damage out there on the car after the opening lap collision with Ravindra, so he's got work to be done here to Steve Smuts to move himself forward.
So now the fight for the third position has become a 3-way fight, with Rishabh leading that fight, trying to hold off Aditya. Now, Steve Smut will be hoping that Aditya and Rishabh maybe challenge themselves. He could have a sense of an opportunity, or just to possibly slow them down into a corner. Rishabh Banerjee is holding them not far behind, but I'm just hoping that this can get a little close, maybe onto turn number 10 possibly.
There is potential for these moves, but one of the keys about turn 10, it's a very, very tough place to go and make it overtake, make something happen. We have just lost feed, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll be trying to get back some action in the not too distant future. So we'll hopefully find that working as Pawar. Down the inside goes Steve Smuts, and he takes the place away. So that one works out then as Steve Smuts moves up into 4th place.
Well, he's a fighter, Steve Smart. So the VPN is doing well for himself now. All he's got to do is limit the damage on that car. So Steve Smart up to number 4, I think, on this the leaderboard. Showing him at number 5. That could be updated a little bit later. It's a little bit back. Amit Kuti is still the race leader again. It's a little jumbled up, but let's look at the action on the track. Aro Ravindra goes up to position number 7. Now it's sorted out itself. Amit Kuri at number 1, and he is almost on an isolation drive.
Certainly is. We've just noticed that Lalit Jabak has run into technical issues out on circuit, so he has retired the car, it seems, at this stage, which means that everyone jumps up a position. So Ravindra now moves up into 7th place. Tej Patel in 6th at the moment. Navneet Kumar's dropped down all the way to 12th position now at this stage with that sort of incident, but it's still Amit Kuti leads. There is Navneet in 12th place. He's got behind him a great battle between Siddharth Satyan there and Jamie Short, 13th and 14th. These two fighting out hard. Short struck a little bit wide there over the AstroTurf there, which is covered by a nice smattering of snow as they now go through the left and right to the S section.
We gotta give a little credit to Arun Ravindra because one starting right at the back of the grid, it's a very, very slow track when it comes to the tight corner. Now he was stuck in traffic for a very, very long time. He waited his time, a lot of patience, showed a lot of grit. Now he's up to number 7. Can he move into the top 5? Maybe I'm expecting a little too much, but he's really shown the grit. He possibly may not have the pace, but then if the race just slows down a little bit for the rest of the others, Arun Ravindra can move into the top 5, I believe.
He's had a couple of incidents out on circuit already. He'll want to try and get back up into that 6th position. The driver, though, who's in 3rd is having a career race at the moment. It is Rishabh Banerjee at this stage, who is absolutely flying about. We had the chance to talk to him earlier on as Ravindra looks to try and get the move done, and very easily he's going to be let that one or win it here by Tej Patel, who will fight back on the brakes again. Another driver trying to go late. He's got too late, and Ravindra here trying to pick the power up on the exit here for the next turn. Has he got the move? Yes, he has. But we had the chance to speak to Rishabh Banerjee, is what he had to say. Struggling here to bring Rishabh Banerjee. Here we go.
My name is Rishabh. I was interested in cars, driving, and like the whole racing scenario since young. And then, yeah, over the years, I've just followed F1 and all the racing series, and they have developed my interest through there. Yeah. So my most favorite driver would be Max Verstappen right now, and I like the Red Bull Racing team. His fight with Charles Leclerc last year in Silverstone, that was pretty cool. So yeah, I like that a lot.
So right at the start of interview there, Rishabh Banerjee losing the place to Steve Smuts, who finds his way back up onto the podium. So his damage limitation done very, very well at the moment. We haven't seen for a long, long stretch of time the situation with the leading two. It's still Amit Kuti ahead of Oshan Kathadia in 2nd position. There is Kathadia right now trying to climb the hill. He's still not a million miles away from Amit Kuti, who's keeping him at about 1.5 seconds behind here, Solomon, which is all he needs to do.
Well, it's all about getting the job done now. Ashan Kotaria, I had a feeling, I was possibly sensing that, hey, I possibly have a chance to challenge Amit Kuti, and why not? He's possibly had the best starts in a very long time and might as well take advantage of it. But Steve Smutt, he's fought well, so has Arun Ravindra. So Steve Smutt at number 3 and Arun Ravindra at number 6. Pretty interesting with just about over 11 minutes to go. This is sim racing and anything could happen.
It certainly does, and you now start thinking about here with Amit Kuti. He's just got to keep those laps ticking over. He's got 11.5 minutes as he crosses the start-finish line to work things out. Kathadia is keeping him very much as company at this stage, which will not be the most ideal situation for Kuti, but it will continue to force him to push on forward and find those spaces and find those positions he very much needs to. There is Steve Smuts in 3rd position, and it looks like for Arun Ravindra in 6th place. It's a long, long road if he's going to try and chase this one down. You can see even now he's still not in frame in 6th position.
Ravindra has a lot of work today, so it would be a tall order unless and until the top 5 make a mistake and go off the track a little bit. As we see the fight still coming down as Arun Ravindra still stays around at number 6. But then Rishabh Banerjee has been having a very, very busy weekend, and that's the way it's going to be for at least for the next 10 minutes as well.
He's trying to find those places, and he now knows he's playing a defensive card against Tej Patel, who's not letting this one go as they go into the Campagnano, turn number 7 out on circuit. So work to be done here for Ravindra. He's just got to stay calm here because he knows he's driving wounded a little bit out there on circuit. So work to be done, but he's just trying to keep himself in the best possible position that he can. From Tej Patel in 7th, who's having a really, really strong drive at this stage. What we are going to be able to do for you though, ladies and gentlemen, is step away for the final time here in this round 8 event. We'll get round 9 coming up in just a little bit afterwards, but crucially 10 minutes to go, and we'll be here afterwards to call the end of this race.
Power. You only understand it when you feel it, you know? And when you do, trust me, you'll know why we live for these nights.
Volkswagen.
Suarez Yadav then in 9th position. This battle still going on here for 8th place on the road, and every battle seemingly is for very crucial points in championship perspectives at this stage. Moving forward, trying to find that extra place here and that extra place there. Solomon, it's now all about gearing up for your one final driver that you want to get through in the final 10 minutes.
You got it spot on, Jake. Now, I just was wondering, have they started losing a little bit of grip? Because you've seen a couple of cars just going a little wide, not being able to sustain that grip for a little bit. But they got to be a little bit careful. Now, if you're looking at the benefactors, the highest guys who actually managed to get the most out of this race, Aro Ravindra at least about 10 position. Steve Smart has gone up to number 3. We also had Rishabh Banerjee was stuck at number 6, now fighting it out at number 4. So these are your major. The Garbage Lord now having his own moment there. Still fighting at number 12, making sure that there's an earnest fight as well, with along with Raghav and Munjal staying at number 13 and 14.
Work to be done then, as Garvit Loader in 12th place wants to get by Jamie Shaw in 11th, who has made a great run of things actually in the late stages of this race, jumping up into the 11th position and now starting to just find a little bit of consistency in pace. Next up will be Siddharth Satyan, who's had a good run today. He's up into 10th position right now, and every single place is going to be fought for from now until the end of this one. So we'll keep an eye out on these sorts of drivers trying to get on through. And now you start wondering here, for those in the maybe skirts of the top 10, where is the best position to be? Because of course there's that top 12 invert. These drivers that we're looking at right now are going to be starting right on the front for round 9.
So Siddharth Satyan started at number 15, now is at number 10, so it's a good job so far. He would definitely like to take it on to Raj Tula. Raj Tula started at 12, moves up to position number 9 at the moment on the graphics that we're able to look at. Ahmed Koti now slowly going to be getting challenged by Oshan Kataria, close but not close enough. Steve Smart is not in the screen as well. He's way back, at least I believe more than a half a second back. So that's a lot of work on back, more than a second back now. Rishabh Banerjee stays at number 4 at the moment. Will he be able to take the fight to Steve Smart? I don't think so at the moment.
Well, here's Rishabh Banerjee under pressure here, this 4th position, because Aditya Pawar wants to try and find a way through and wants to try and gain that position and do so everything with a nice run of things. It's worth noting the reverse grid, is from yesterday's race results and not from today's results. So this is effectively just another free race that's put into the board, and I'm sure that a lot of drivers will be hoping to take this one in their stride and move on forward with this result. So Aditya Pawar will know that this is for some big cookies. He's got nothing to lose right now as he tries to chase down for that 4th place and gain some vital points, knowing he's not going to get anything more out of it here today. Worth looking back though at Tej Patel, who is there in 7th position on the road at the moment. We had the opportunity to get a little bit of a conversation with him. He has just fallen off of the back of Ara Ravindra right now, but 7th position, definitely nothing to shake a stick at.
Hi everyone, I'm Tej Patel. I'm 17 years old. Right now I'm studying in Padar International School and I'm pursuing my 12th grade. So very lengthy answer to it, because from anywhere and everywhere, I've always been attracted to cars. Like even movies, I was attracted to Lightning McQueen from Cars 1, 2, 3, and Fast and Furious, and even on road, like just any car would excite me. So cars have always pulled me. So first, I was searching for kart racing clubs, and Rio Racing at that time was in Pune. So I actually went for the beginners course when I was like in 6th grade or something. And I spent a weekend over there with my mom. Then when I came back, it was just a little, it would be tough for me to continue it with my studies going on. I couldn't like make it back and forth to Pune. And then, yeah, I was just pursuing my studies and waiting for something else to happen.
Well, this is where you start seeing here these drivers just try and get themselves over to the end of this race. Tej Patel there, currently having a good run. Now look at Oshan Kathadia here at the front. He's been quietly working away 10th by 10th like an artisan with his tools, and he's currently got himself right in position to potentially have a fight to the end here with Amit Kuti, your race leader.
So Amit Kuti would be possibly thinking that he needn't be too aggressive because he is the championship leader. Arul Ravindra is now at number 6, so he's got a comfortable lead over him. It's not the time to do something stupid and
That's
think
the move.
about it. He does the move, Oshan Kothari on the inside, and let's take it out.
overcooked it.
And thank you very much, Amit Kuti. That's exactly what I wanted.
This brilliant misdirection at its finest. Kathadia saw eyes bigger than the belly, and then all of a sudden, he's now got to try and do that all over again. He hasn't lost too much time. That's the crucial fact. He's able to stay within a range at the moment, is Kathadia. No harm, no foul, no contact there with that sort of incident, but he's got to dial it back a little bit and make sure that he's working with the grip levels he has available in the last 3 3/4 minutes.
I thought he almost just missed the brakes or just missed the gear there, but that's the way it is. But now he's still on it right now, keeping it earnest there. So Oshan Kothari will be able to line him up. So let's just see if one of a little quick straight coming up. So after this right-hander, he just overtook the curves again. He's getting a little aggressive. He's got to just space it out, wait for the straights to come to him, and then possibly look at turn number 10 or turn number 11 to basically slow it down a little bit there. Oshan Kothari right on earnest. How is it going to come around this time around?
Well, he's got a good run here, but he's not close enough to make a move into the Shimini corners, turns 4 and 5. This is one into the Curva Grande of turn number 2 out here on circuit. He just needs to get himself within a range, and this is what we see here in this sort of race. It's all about patience. These opening sectors are all about pace, and he really jams on the brakes very, very late, uses all of the road, and he's trying to attack here on the exit against Amit Kuti. He's got so much more available, and this is where we saw Ravindra make that double overtake, which turned into a triple at turn 7. Again, Kathadia's looking for it. It's defended all the way by Amit Kuti on the straight. And look at Kathadia, look how late he brakes. He tries to go around the outside. It's almost like rushing against a brick wall at the moment. You just hope that you find enough here to hit the brakes and move away.
So Amit Kuti is basically putting the car where Oshan Kothari does not want to see. He's not giving him any space at all. Brilliantly defended so far. Now Oshan Kothari comes around, would be able to take an advantage of somewhere onto the straight very, very quickly. Stay close enough and then hope for that little mistake. Okay, tries to take a wider turn, but Oshan will have to try that one more time again. Tries to have the look on the inside. No space there again. Amit Kuti defending well one more time.
He's trying everything, but look at the run off the exit here that Kathadi has managed to find. He's put the power down here for the S's section. Round the outside, he tries to look. It's going to be tough. Inside for the next corner, no. Doesn't have it there. So another really strong look then by Oshan Kathadia. They've got the gap over Steve Smuts to have this sort of battle, and they know with how much they're holding themselves up right now, this will be the final lap of the race they go on to here and try and find all the pace that they need to. One lap shootout between Kathadia now and Amit Kuti. Is this going to be another one that adds to the legend that Amit is bringing up in sim racing, or will Kathadia find a way through to pick up a big, big victory? He stays very narrow, does Kathadia, here into the first of the Shimini corners, and we'll be looking at this run for turn 7 once again, using all of the road possible to try and get that slingshot out of turn 5, the second Shimini corner, to get the run for the Campagnano. Turn number 7, again Amit Kuti having to go to the right-hand side of the circuit to defend this one. Kathadia's got to go the long way around. He's run out of time on that inside line, and again, He's just got to be patient here, work out a way to get to the inside. They're pretty much bumper to bumper, as it were, as they try and find that way through. Again, it's hard to the inside then from Kuti. He's going to have to force Cathadia to make the long road around. He takes the big wide line trying to pick up the exit, but you can attack brilliantly out of turn 8 up to 9 and through this section. This is the run that you need, almost just giving shots to the back bumper. There goes Cathadia, and again at turn 10 it's pretty much middle of the road driving from Amit Kuti, no way through. Door opens up though for 12. He's on the outside though, but he's got to get a run on the inside potentially. Oh, he left the door open here. Cathadia dives down the inside. Has he got enough side-by-side traffic? Got out of the way. Contact door to door as they go for 12 and 13, the S's section, and Cathadia gets through with 2 corners to go. Still a chance though at Roma for Kuti, but his tyres finally decided to let go. Cathadia worked hard and persevered throughout the entirety of round 8, and finally, with a couple of corners to go, he comes to the line and he takes the win here with a wonderful, wonderful overtake.
That was absolutely thrilling cliffhanger stuff. This is why we watch sim racing, and this is we love to see races on the track. I was just worried maybe one of the back markers is going to stop a little bit of action there, but the back marker did well, getting off the racing action, saying, hey guys, you race it out. Aro Ravindra should be able to bring that car home at number 6, limiting that damage. Tej Patel follows him, but what a time it has been for Oshan Kotadia. Take a bow.
There is Tej Patel coming home with 7th. The crucial number is 6, because that is 6 points that Amit Kuti has dropped there in terms of that battle to the end. Cathadia will take those with a pinch of salt, because he'll be closing down in on Steve Smuts, who finished 3rd today in this race, and a huge charge through from the likes of Shaw and Sathian here. Raghav getting back into 12th position then come the end of that race. A big battle for those then in the mid to late pack, trying to make sure that they got everything that worked out. So it was Oshan Cathadia who picked up the win. It was actually Kuti in 2nd and Steve Smuts 3rd, with Banerjee 4th, Pawar in 5th, and Ara Ravindra in 6th position. Tej Patel would pick up 7th with Yadav in 8th and Raj Tula 9th. Jamie Shaw would round out the top 10 with Sathyan and Budaraja, with Munjal Savla, Abhimanyu Menon and Raiden Samaravel making up the top 15 here today in this first race of 2 that we're having today at Vayalunga. But what is going to be very, very crucial about the way that we move forward here with these races, we are going to bring in a couple of drivers potentially for interview, but if we don't have the time for that, we will be stepping aside for about 20 minutes or so before that second race starts. But Solomon, before we go over to that sort of thing, we got ourselves a very, very important opportunity to talk about this, and that is that you have yourself that 12-car reverse grid coming up from the results of the first round that we had yesterday.
So yeah, Steve Smart is going to start at number 12, and someone like Aro Ravindra will start a little bit early, little bit ahead of them. Now this is going to be very interesting. Now Amit Kuti has shown his class. Can he do it one more time again? But then he's limited the damage by finishing at number 2. I really like the fact that he just played defensive, not tried to go way too aggressive and Oshan Kotaria, but nothing to take away the credit from Oshan. He's done a fabulous job to take the race win.
Speaking of fabulous jobs, we're able to get an opportunity to talk with him right now. Oshan, that was a quiet race in some respects. You just had to tinker away, find a 10th here, a 10th there, save the tyres as much as possible. But come the end of that one, you saw that Amit was struggling out of a couple corners, and you picked your moment coming out of the very tight turn 12. Oshan, do you have a copy of us there, buddy? It looks like for the moment that we're not going to be able to talk to Oshan Cathadia for a moment, but we will see if we can get Amit Kuti in for a chat here, who finished in 2nd position. Now, Amit, that was a case where you had pretty much 29 minutes and about 58 seconds of lead, but ultimately the tyres just didn't have enough for you.
As you say, it was quite annoying to have led so far, and annoyingly, I had, I think with 3-4 laps to go, I had a small lag spike which really lost me around 3-4 tenths, and I was kind of back with Oshan again, having maintained that lead for so long. So once he got in, it was just quite easy for him to stay with me in the draft, and I think we had a pretty good battle at last. I had to just give the position away for preventing a crash or any sorts of thing, because I knew I was ahead of Aro, and like even if I just finish ahead of both Steve and Aro, it would be enough. So I was just wanting to be a bit cautious there.
You really defended well, but you did play on your mind Arul Ravindra because he's now further down on the championship fight is concerned. So strategy coming up for the coming up race? Reverse grid.
Uh, I don't think there's any strategy, to be honest. It's just damage limitation and trying to not get into any collision and having a huge amount of luck.
Well, you find yourself an extra 14 points now. You're 34 points clear at the top of the championship heading into this race. So you've got yourself a lot of space to make mistakes if they do come along or if things don't go your way in this round 9 battle that you'll be moving into in just a little bit. Do you feel now that you have yourself established a gap and now you're given maybe a little bit more license to be a little bit freer about how you pick and choose your moves?
Yeah, like also along with the lead, I think 2 races are going to be not included. So there was 2 races, so even that is there. But still, I want to give my all for every race, and anything can happen in motorsports. So it's always better to just go for it every time, and not rely on something that is yet to happen.
Well, there we have Amit Kuti coming home with second position overall at this moment in time. Just going to see if we can get an opportunity to talk to Oshan Katadia again. Oshan, do you have a copy of us, buddy? And that answer is going to be a very firm no. A real shame as he's picked up the victory overall. We do have the chance to talk to Steve Smuts, though, who finished in third position. Steve, that's a recovery drive, and it's a recovery drive for the fact that you had that contact there coming out of turn 5 into 6 on lap 1, and that really just shuffled the field all the way back.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rough start. I don't actually know who hit me just yet, but I'll check the replay. Honestly, it was. Feel like I was a little bit stolen from me, but it's racing. I guess it's what's gonna happen.
Steve, you seem to be turning into a habit of turning your recovery drive into a practice now. So you seem to be getting very good at that.
Yeah, well, you're constantly practicing, right? You're trying to get better and better. The guys didn't put up too much of a fight, thankfully, for fifth and fourth place, or fourth and third rather. So luckily, I had an open road and a little bit of practice time.
An open road is always very nice to see for you, Steve. But now you've got that reverse grid coming in. Of course, it's going to be from the results of yesterday where you get that reverse. So you've got the hard yards to do today. 12th place on the grid coming up. And you've had a little bit of experience trying to battle your way through the field. Is this going to be a case where you're just hoping that drivers make it easy for you today?
I don't think anyone's going to make it easy for me, but we'll see how it goes. Again, it's reverse grid, so it's really, really difficult to overtake here. But it is what it is. Whatever happens, whatever happens at this point.
Absolutely. Steve Smuts then coming home with third position in that race. We do finally have Oshan Katadia. He's had a couple of issues trying to get a little conversation with us, but we have him right now. Oshan, that was patience. You had to save the tyres pretty much for the entire stint, and with a little bit of lady luck as well, you found the one weakness that Amit Kuti had, and you completely exploited it.
Yeah, so I from my yesterday's race, I kind of experienced that tire wear was a really big issue, and I was trying to push really hard in yesterday's race. So I just tried to tinker with the setup a bit today, and I just held off. Like I was really tempted to fight, but I did not want to let anyone back in the game. So I just wanted it to be between the both of us. So come 5 minutes, then I started trying to push a bit more, and then Amit's tires were visibly off when he started to push. So yeah, it was just a game of who breaks later after that.
Credit to you. Really love the kind of move that you made on the last lap just before the checkered flag. Now, moving into the next race, you do believe conserving tires is what is going to really matter being taking on to the podium.
Yes, totally. This track is really eating the left tires out, and 40 minutes. I have no idea how the tires might last. I think a pit stop might be helpful. if
Well,
there is any.
Well, there may be strategy on the horizon. We'll see how things all look out for everyone who's trying to make that one work and make that happen for you. But crucially for you, you bring back the ground that you lost yesterday to Steve Smuts, and you've got yourself in a better position for this reverse grid coming up, starting 10th place on the grid. So do you feel now that this is the time to start maybe getting the ball rolling, getting another good run forward, and maybe it might just be a case where you drag back points on Steve and find yourself third in the championship?
Yeah, so I think now the whole game is about getting as many points as possible. So tomorrow's race, now the next race also is the same. So totally got to focus on getting as many points as possible. Yeah, I can't see anywhere else. Is the only way is up from here. So I don't see myself falling further behind, at least now. Yeah, it was just unfortunate that I had a contact with Steve, but yeah, there were so many people back to back, so it would have been a massive pileup if I would have lifted off, and it was quite unexpected where the lift off happened actually at the start of the race, honestly.
Well, there are
So
always a few surprises when you have a race, Oshan, but a race victory,
yeah,
nevertheless, something you can be incredibly proud of achieving here in terms of this sort of run. We are going to see if we can get a couple more drivers in for very quick conversation, one of whom is Rishabh Banerjee, who we had an opportunity to see have a very, very strong run. He finished in 4th position. Rishabh, do you have a copy of us, buddy?
Yeah, hi.
Very, very quiet at the moment on the microphone. So we'll see if we can just boost him up and get him a little bit louder. But Rishabh, that goes down as a race for you where you took advantage of maybe a couple drivers running into troubles early on, Ara Ravindra being one of them, Steve Smuts another. And really, you spent the majority of that race in 3rd and 4th position, just consolidating place.
Yeah, Steve caught up and then he overtook me, so I just had to hold off Aditya Pawar, and then yeah, I ended up fourth.
There was a lot of action happening with you every time we were involved with a fight between Aro, Aditya, then earlier on with Rishabh Banerjee. So this is really all about handling those ST corners very well.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I made many mistakes, so people were catching up to me. But then it's very hard for the person behind to overtake you. So that was my advantage, and yeah, I maintained my position.
Well, you've got a lot of positives to take out of this race. You've been here, there, and everywhere over the course of the season so far, but it seems like Vialunga is a track that suits you, Rishabh.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time practicing, so it's yeah, I've got a good hang of it. Yeah, and it's the better of the tracks, obviously.
Well, Rishabh Banerjee there with a 4th place finish, which he'll be very, very happy with. One final driver we'll be able to chat to very quickly is Aditya Pawar, who finished off in 5th place in that event. Aditya, do you have a copy of us, buddy?
Yeah, I do copy all. Do you all copy me?
Yep, we've got you loud and clear. But let's talk about that race for you, because it looked like, especially in the early stages, that some of the big names dropped back. They had themselves a few troubles. You had to make your way through. There are a few drivers up and down the order who were trying to be aggressive early, but really it was a case where it just settled out for you. It was Steve, and it was Rishabh.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a tricky start. I just decided to take it easy, basically, because I saw cars, running really close. There at a point of time, I saw people going three wide, and I just backed off, man. I mean, for me, the sensible thing was to just wait out for these fast guys to finish their Tipitaka and then probably set in between somewhere.
So Aditya, when you were on the track, when you were racing, you were possibly playing a lot of patient games. So that kind of helped you a little bit.
Yeah, actually, as in I was waiting for Steve and Rishabh to probably, have a little bit of a fight to my advantage so that I would have, probably saved some curves or push to pass and probably used it to my advantage. But at the end, I made a mistake which dropped me back a couple of seconds to Rishabh. Any which way, that was my own fault. So I think I let go of the fourth position if I have a look at it that way.
Well, either way, a top 5 is still some very, very big points and a very, very tight battle for 5th place in the championship. Everybody is pretty much on edge with that, hoping that they can get as many points as they possibly can. What do you think the key is to picking up that 5th place overall? Because it seems like every time we go into a race, it's someone else who seems to have the form flag for that.
Well, now as we see, we know that the championship battle is going to the top 4. So the 5th place is sort of become what you call the best of the rest. So it's all about consistency now, and probably to keep your mind cool, and yeah, you could end up best of the rest. Yeah.
Well, Aditya Pawar there with a top 5 finish, and we'll be certainly hoping for top 5s in the not too distant future. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are not done with sim racing action here today. We're going to step aside for about 20 minutes or so, and when we come back, there'll be more action on the horizon as we get ourselves ready for round 9.